What kind of imprint do you have on people that you've never even met?
Awaken the leader inside. Follow the path of leadership. Never give up. Never stop trying. Get up. Believe in yourself. Not every day is going to be easy, but you got to challenge yourself. You need courage. Be ready. Stop waiting for it to happen. Go make it happen. Harness the power within. You are destined to be a leader. Follow the path of leadership. Awaken the leader inside.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. My name's Dave Rubalcava and I'm your host here at Awaken the Leader Inside. Hey, thanks for tuning in for another episode, you guys. And, I just want to share something that I was thinking about. I was thinking this morning about, the time that you need to reflect is so important. And it's not always easy, especially if you have a family, you have a career, and you're juggling. And I always look for these quiet moments, these moments, whether they're at night when all the kids are in bed and my wife's in bed and I just kind of reflect. But a lot of times it's actually in the morning when I'm driving to work and I'm kind of thinking about the day and thinking about my goals and things that I want to do. And, and then I recently watched a video from my friend, Stephen Moraldo. And, the topic of his video was, what do you want to be remembered for? And I think that's something we don't think about that, consciously. At least I believe that. I don't think that we do unless you're reflecting and think about, what am I putting out into the world? Like what kind of imprint am I leaving on people? The one thing that I thought about was especially with the podcast is, what kind of imprint do you have on people that you've never even met? And I think that's really difficult to kind of gauge and measure when we kind of measure it on day-to-day contact, people in the office or people at your job or people in the community that you meet face to face. And as you think about your career and you think about the imprint and lasting imprint that you leave on people, some of the people may be people you've never even met. And so that's such a powerful tool. That's such a positive way to change people's lives. And if you're not thinking about that, if you're not consciously thinking as a leader that everything you do is leaving an impression, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, it's leaving some type of impression on people, do you think that maybe we would do things a little bit different? And I'll be completely honest with you guys. It probably wasn't until maybe a year before I started this podcast. So just a few years ago where I started thinking about the impression. What kind of perception do I want people to have of me, And is it important? Well, yeah, it's kind of important. Is it everything? No, it's not. But it's something that you can directly control. And it takes a lot of self-control to control it in the toughest times. But, I think about all those moments that I've struggled in my life or that I've struggled in my career. And it's those tough moments are probably the moments that will leave the largest impression on people. And you ask yourself, well, David, why would that? Because in all reality, it's the hardest to stay positive. It's the hardest to do the right thing. It's the hardest to be sensible when things are collapsing around you, when you're struggling or there's some, catastrophic failure that's happening at work or at life. And it's so difficult to stay positive in those moments, but yet those are the moments that most people remember about us. And they can remember it for the catastrophic failure that we created. Or what I love to believe in is that you remembered what you stood for and you remember and you maintain your composure in those most difficult moments. And so like I'm saying before, and like I'm going to start to say it more and more now, this podcast, yes, it's about leadership, but it's also about life. And that's where I want to expand in. I want to expand in those moments in life. You're going to have to use your leadership and be sensible and think about, what am I going to do right now? And you have to acknowledge what's happening to you right now. And how are we going to make the best decision so that we recognize what we're doing is impacting other people? Now, I want to share something with you that helped me really remember this, or kind of put it back into the front end of my memory. Is I recently saw a newscaster that I love. love this guy, and it's such a tragic loss for LA and KTLA with Chris Burrous. And if you guys don't know who he is, such an amazing guy, man. I mean, just I loved watching him because he was so down to earth. He was funny. He wasn't afraid to just be himself and be silly. And I think that's kind of what we all wish we can kind of unveil that mask and just be happy with who we are. And I think that's what I saw, and that's what I loved and cherished about watching him. So to find out that, he's no longer with us, and we don't really have all the answers as to why, but it kind of made me remember, God, in like a blink of an eye, our journey could be over. Our journey will be over. And what do you want to be remembered for when that happens? And it kind of shook me to the core. It kind of sat with me for a couple of days. So that and watching Moraldo's video was probably the time where I'm like, man, I got to do some like deep reflection right now, because these things are bothering me and I didn't understand why. And I think that it made me remember, or made me ask myself that same question, like, what do I want to be remembered for? What do I want my kids to remember me for? And it's very sobering to have to do that. And so what I want for you guys on this journey, this life journey called leadership, but it's really a life journey, is, can we consciously make choices to do that? And if so, how? And I truly believe that we can consciously make a choice to do the right thing, right? That starts with the beginning. I think at the core of everything is do the right thing. And I'm going to tell you, doing the right thing is probably the hardest thing you'll ever do, because character is defined by what you will do when nobody is watching. And, I pride myself on trying to really do the right thing because it's the right thing, not because of people watching or people learning from me. That's never, I just want to be the best version of myself, but I have to make a conscious choice to actually do that. Like, for those of you that really believe that you're just born with this ability to be positive all the time, like, you're dead wrong. Some of the most positive people on this planet are the ones struggling with the most stuff, but they don't let it dictate their attitude. They make a conscious choice that, yes, things are kind of bad right now, but the only way I can have control is to control my attitude. And so those are the things that you can do to really change those situations that you go through. And so I guess where I'm going with this episode is that I really had some time to reflect, and I want to know, like, do you guys spend time doing that? And if you don't, I think I'm more curious as to why you don't. And I probably know I've done it a lot, where I just trying to just get through the day, survive the day, and then you start over tomorrow and it's like the same thing. But at some point, you're going to get lost. And I think that is the most difficult thing for me to swallow, are those moments where I feel like I'm kind of lost, and they feel very, very lonely. And when you're lost and you're not sure where to go or which direction, and you're standing at those crossroads, that's where we have to be comfortable with really, really thinking about where we're at in our life, and thinking about how we're going to have to make choices to get ourselves out of whatever we're stuck in. So, I'm not sure if that helps, guys. I'm not sure. It's just something that was kind of bothering me on my chest. And if you don't know, the podcast really helps me to reflect too, because there's been a couple of times, and I'll be completely honest, and it's going to sound really weird, but just randomly, I heard one of my old episodes, and I don't know how. I must have downloaded onto my phone. I don't know. It just randomly started playing when I got into the car. And that's what provoked me to want to get back into doing the show, was the message. And I don't even remember what it was, but the message I heard rang true to what I was feeling at that moment. And that's kind of what it all is, man. It's, at the end of the day, your leadership is, you have to be able to talk about it. You have to be able to share with it. That's why I encourage you guys to find someone that is, one, either a successful leader, or they're going through the same journey with you at the same time, because you got to share it. You got to let it out, because there's a lot of frustration that builds up over time, which can lead to discouraging yourself. And then we get lost. So, I mean, as I reflect this morning and I was driving, I decided, this episode, I didn't really plan it. I was feeling it inside that I needed to share, that I want to be remembered for one, being transparent and honest and showing the hardships of leadership, but also that it's not always pretty, and then I've struggled myself. I failed myself. I'm okay. I'm comfortable and okay sharing my failures if it's going to help somebody else. And maybe that's what, at the end of the day, that's what I want to be remembered for, is I'm okay with sharing my failures so that others can succeed and others can grow exponentially faster and on a journey that can get them to their goals quicker than what I did in my own career. Because my own career was it was tough, filled with setbacks, filled with failures, and filled with times that I wanted to give up. So at the end of the day, guys, I hope what you decide in your life and what you want to be remembered for becomes the benchmark for you pursuing something that'll help you get closer to doing it. Or maybe it's just the journey. Maybe it's just the journey of how you did wherever you got to is what's going to help you help others, or just help you help yourself. There's nothing wrong if you just want to help develop yourself, and that's what you do. But I will tell you, the journey is the point of where you're going to learn the most. And I am sharing my journey with you guys through this podcast. And so I hope that this stuff helps. And if it does, let me know. Sometimes I don't know, guys. Sometimes I'm just putting stuff out there and I'm not really sure if it's connecting. So if it's connecting or it's resonating with you, I encourage you guys to find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll put all that stuff in the notes, and let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what you want to be remembered for. And I hope this helps you guys today. Get your week started properly, get you motivated, and always remember to awaken the leader inside. Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you on the next episode. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you hit that little bell on the top, right? Now it's time to get to work, and let's make it happen.